Let's talk about homelessness for just a bit. I mean, we're talking about big picture issues right now, big problems, and homelessness is certainly one of them. And there's been a pattern that we've been noticing in our emails, the emails that you've been sending us from home. A lot of homeless camps have been putting down roots around schools. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, during the pandemic, kids were learning from home, so the buildings were pretty much empty. Well, now, for the first time since early 2020, kids are getting ready to head back to class in person. And our team learned in at least one case that means the homeless campers have to go. Here's Maggie Vespa.
In the last year, this has become a rare sight. Kids swarming a school's playground. Families were touring Southeast Portland's Sunnyside School before classes start next week. By that time, this homeless camp will be gone. Tuesday, biohazard crews cleaned up trash. They'll return Wednesday, they said, to clear everyone out. The city was blunt. After more than a year of remote learning, students at Portland Public Schools are headed back to class in person on September 1st. And this camp, a city spokesperson said, impedes transportation access for kids to access school, aka it blocks the sidewalk.
Well, it strikes me as tragic.
Campers were upset and busy packing. None wanted to talk to us. Alexander Dickens is an activist with the group Stop the Sweeps.
Because every time you pack somebody up and you get rid of some of their belongings, they're a little further step away from moving on and getting some kind of other help elsewhere. Because it's really tragic to have all of your stuff sort of packed up and set away.
It's worth noting Dickens is right. This camp is part of a clear pattern. Many came to Sunnyside from nearby Laurelhurst Park last month when the city cleared a camp of roughly 60 people. Less than half went into shelters and motels. Officials said many who declined talked about the shortage of long-term affordable housing, meaning they didn't want to move into a shelter if there was nowhere for them to go next.
There's a scarce amount. There's a limit. So there's a big wait list. That could be several years for some of those units.
And to be clear, nothing has changed since then. The city is still promising to open 6 safe rest villages, organized outdoor camps, sometime this year, but no specific addresses or dates have been released. So for now, campers just keep moving from place to place. Neighbors who have been offering services to people in the camp hurt for them.
A lot of them, when I talk to them, they understand they don't want to be around kids because they understand that kids are afraid of them or that kids might not or shouldn't have drugs, in their midst. Doesn't make it any less sad, though, because they don't really have anywhere to go.
In a statement, a rep for Portland Public Schools called homelessness in Portland a humanitarian crisis, quote, particularly as we know some of our students are residents of some of the camps. She added the district is focusing on reopening schools safely, writing, "We are in continued conversation with both the city of Portland and Multnomah County as they compassionately and with urgency address this issue." KGW asked the city how many homeless camps near schools crews are scheduled to clear in the coming days. We haven't received an answer.
Okay, Maggie Vespa joining us now. And Maggie, on that last point, we do have some indication as to how the city would move forward with other camps near schools.
Yeah, we definitely do. You might remember back, I think it was in June, the city council voted kind of on new criteria as to how they would prioritize camps that they want to clear. And it basically they did it by deprioritizing certain camps. They said that any camps that were more than 150 feet from elementary schools or middle schools and more than 100 feet from high schools would be lower priorities. The flip side of that are any camps that are closer than those kind of benchmark distances, those would be higher priorities and they would clear those faster. And the city confirmed that was the case with Sunnyside. They said it just met the criteria to be cleared. And so, that kind of tells us that moving forward, any camps that are like the one we saw today right next to schools, those will likely be cleared more swiftly just than they were in years past.
And to a point in your piece, these camps move regularly, but we have heard about others.
Yeah, we have. As you know, people have written in about one in particular, Cleveland High School, and campers around there. We went over to Cleveland today and we drove around it and around the field at Cleveland, which is a few blocks separate from the school. We really didn't see many camps. There were a couple of tents and RVs, but we're saying this on TV because we want people, if they know of camps that we should be checking in on, to email us about it. Tweet us with the info on that. Use the hashtag #HeyDan. And we should note, no matter how you feel about the issue, we're doing this because we think it's really important to keep a close eye on how the city and how school districts handle this situation moving forward. Because while kids were remote learning for more than a year, as we know, our housing crisis seems to have gotten worse than ever. Dan?
Yeah, just one more facet of this new normal, as we're calling it. We'll keep an eye on it. Thanks, Maggie.
Exactly.